Welcome to Truth Thursday, a space where we uncover the unspoken truths, challenge the stories that have been passed down, and step into the light of healing. Today we journey into the lessons in the shadow of favor, where the subtle wounds of favoritism and unequal love are exposed, revealing the lasting impact of these hidden dynamics on the heart and soul. In today's story, we join a group of women as they share their truths and reflect on the complex patterns of love, favoritism, and healing that has shaped their lives. This is more than a simple gathering. It's a powerful call to explain the invisible forces that have shaped us, to confront the painful legacies of the past, and to step into the power of self-awareness and transformation. Let's dive into today's story, Lessons in the Shadow of Favor. The room was quiet except for the faint hum of the fluorescent lights. I stood in the center, looking at the women gathered in a circle before me. Women of all ages, each carrying their own burdens, their own stories. Their eyes reflected a mix of curiosity and hesitation. Some had come seeking answers, others simply hoping to find a space safe to speak their truth. I took a deep breath and began with a question that felt like it cut through the air. How many of you have ever felt like you weren't worthy? At first there was a stillness. Then slowly hands began to rise. Some were confident, others trembling, as if lifting the weight of buried pain. I nodded, collapsing my hands in front of me. Now, how many of you have felt like you had to fight for love? Whether as a child, a partner, or even as a parent yourself. More hands went up, and I felt the room exhale, the collective release of something heavy. I smiled, not in triumph, but in understanding. You're not alone, I said softly. And tonight, I want to share a story that might feel familiar. It's about love, favoritism, and the scars we carry, and how we can begin to heal. I paused, letting the words settle in, and then I began. There was a mother who had 2 children. She loved them both, of course, but anyone watching closely could see she favored one over the other. Her love for the favored child seemed to glow, casting a shadow the other child could never escape. Why did she favor one over the other? Maybe it was because she saw in the child the qualities she admired in herself. Intelligence, charm, ambition, resilience. She praised that child endlessly, marveling at the smallest accomplishments, as if they were feats of genius. Mistakes, they weren't failures. They were opportunities for growth and a chance to shine even brighter. But for the other child, it was a different story. When that child tried something new, the mother was quick to point out the flaws. She didn't see potential, only pitfalls. Why bother with this, she'd say. You're not good at it, and you never will be. Each word was a weight anchoring that child in insecurity and self-doubt. The favored child grew up with confidence and a belief in their abilities. But beneath that confidence lay a seed of doubt. What if their worth was tied to their accomplishments, their achievements? What if they had to keep striving, keep proving to maintain the love they'd grown so accustomed to? The other child grew up feeling unseen, unworthy. Unexpectedly had forged a quiet resilience, a drive to disprove their mother's actions, and a deep empathy born from the wounds of rejection. Why would a mother do this to her children? Was it because someone had done the same to her? Was she repeating a pattern she'd learned, passing it down as if it were the only way to be? Or was it something deeper, a reflection of her own inner struggles. The truth is, both children carried scars. The favorite child bore the weight of staying on the pedestal, and the unfavored child carried the pain of feeling less than. And yet both found their own paths, shaped by uneven love they had received. I looked around the room, seeing the recognition in their eyes. Some nodded quietly, others remained motionless, their expression thoughtful. I shared this story tonight because it's all too common, I continued, my voice steady but full of conviction. And yet, it's rarely discussed. We carry these lessons from childhood without questioning them, without realizing the power they hold over our lives. Some of you might see yourselves in the favorite child. Others might relate to the unfavored one. And some of you, like that mother, might realize you're passing down these same patterns without even knowing it. I paused, letting the words hang in the air. But here's what I want to know. Those scars, whether you carry them or you've left them, don't have to define you or your family. Change begins with awareness, with the willingness to look inward and ask, what am I teaching with my words, my actions, my love? And it's never too late to rewrite the story. The room was silent, heavy with the weight of reflection. Then I softened my tone, offering a glimmer of hope. We're not here to blame, but to heal. And we don't have to do it alone. There's strength in sharing your story, in asking for help, in forgiving yourself and others. Together we can break these cycles and teach the next generation not to just survive, but to thrive. I let those words settle. So as I leave with you, this, what legacy have you chose to leave behind? One of love and awareness, or one of pain left unspoken? The choice is yours, and it begins today. As the women began to share their experiences, the room filled with a sense of community and hope. A reminder that even the deepest scars can lead to the most profound healing. As the conversation came to close, I felt a quiet but powerful shift in the room. The weight of the stories shared hung in the air, but there was also a sense of release, a collective exhale. These women had not only faced their wounds, but had taken the first steps towards healing. The past no longer held them in its grip. They were beginning to rewrite their stories. As you reflect on this story, I want to leave you with this. The pain of favoritism, of feeling unseen, is not something to carry alone. It's a story that many of us share, often in silence. But today, we've begun to break that silence. So ask yourself, what stories are you holding on to? What patterns are you ready to release? Because healing starts with awareness. And when we share our truths, we create space for others to do the same. Together we can rewrite the narrative and build a future where love is not divided, but whole.